Let's do a warm-up to review how to solve one-step equations. Solve each one-step equation, draw the wall, then use inverse operations to get the variable alone. There's 5 problems. Go ahead and write these on your paper and use what you remember from last year to solve and get the variable alone. Remember your rules about solving for equations using inverse operations, meaning the opposite of addition is subtraction, the opposite of multiplying is dividing, the opposite of subtracting is adding, the opposite of dividing is multiplying. Use your inverse operations to show your work. Whenever you're finished, press play and we'll go over it. All right, number 1. We're going to start by drawing what we call the wall. You may remember that from 7th grade. And then the goal is always to get the variable alone. So in this case, the variable is y. So we want to get rid of this -3 in front. So you can read this as -3 or -3. It's the same thing. So the opposite of this would be adding 3 or a +3. And what you do on one side, you have to do to the other to show you're balancing the equation. If you do it on here, you have to do it over here as well. So the -3 and the +3 cancel, leaving us with just y on this side. And -5 plus 3 is -2 because different signs subtract, take the sign of the higher number. Number 2, we're going to draw the wall. And this time we're trying to get n alone. So with the n is our +3, so we're going to do the opposite, which would be -3. And what you do to one side, you have to do the other, so we're going to show subtracting 3 on this side as well. Our +3 and -3 cancels out, leaving us with the n. And over here we have -10 minus 3. So we use our rule, same signs, so we add and keep them. So 10 and 3 makes 13, and we keep our sign, which is negative. So n equals -13. Number 3, a divided by -3. Remember in algebra, the fraction bar just means dividing. So a divided by -3 equals 9. So again, we're trying to get a by itself, but it is being divided by -3. This does not mean -3, this means divide by -3. So the opposite of dividing by -3 is to multiply by -3. And what you do to one side, you have to do to the other, so we're going to multiply by -3 on this side as well. So divide by -3 and times -3, those cancel out, leaving us with just our a. And on this side we have 9 times -3, and 9 times -3 is -27. So a equals -27. Number 4, -120 equals 6x. So we're going to start by drawing our wall, because that always gets drawn first. It goes straight down your equal sign. And we have 6x, that means 6 times x. Again, we want to get our x by itself, so we need to get rid of this 6 times. So the opposite of multiplying by 6 is to divide by 6. And what you do to one side, you have to do to the other, so we're going to divide by 6 over here. So multiplying by 6 and dividing by 6 will cancel, leaving us with just x. And on this side, -120 divided by 6 is a -20. So x equals -20. Last one, number 5, we're going to draw our wall through our equal sign and identify our variable that we want to get by itself, which is x. So with the x, we have a -8 equals -32. So we need to get rid of this -8 by doing the opposite or the inverse, which is add 8. The opposite of subtracting 8 would be adding 8. And what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So -8 and +8 cancel, leaving us with just x. And -32 plus 8 is -24. So x equals -24. You'll also notice that I have a note down here. You need to bring your calculator every day from now on. So each time that you sit down to do a math lesson for the remainder of the year, I want you to have this calculator. This is the TI-30XS. You can buy it at Walmart. It was on the school supply list. You can get it at Amazon. You can Target. Sometimes they even have them at the grocery stores. Any Office Depot, Office Max. They're pretty common. They're usually around $10. But this is the calculator that I'll be modeling and that you need to bring every day from now on to use to help you with your math problems for the rest of the year. So make sure if you don't have one, maybe you talk to your mom and dad about getting you one. It's the same one that you used last year in 7th grade. If you have questions about that, just email me.